All right, guys, I appreciate the time. I know you guys have been going through a bunch, so I'm going to try and be relatively quick, but happy to answer any questions you guys have, set up time. Charlie, myself, there's a few others on our team that are here, but we could also do this virtually whenever you guys want. So the goal of kind of what I'll show you is just to give you a sense for, like, take you back just half a second on kind of where we started and why we've been building the way we've been building, and then I'll give you kind of a sense for where we're at today and then kind of what we have going forward. But basically, foundationally, when we started the company, the idea has always been from day zero that if we can't find a way to plug in the entire data set into a centralized platform, normalize this data beyond just BMS, we don't believe that we're going to deliver the outcomes that the built world really needs. So foundationally, thank you, man, appreciate it, sorry. So foundationally, again, this is all stuff you guys already know. This is where we started. This is what we identified as the core problem. I think this is what the entire industry has identified as a core problem. But this is what we've been essentially working on, solving really from day zero. What does that mean? So we basically built this core layer that allows you to integrate anything into it, or you can just give us an API and we'll plug the API into our platform, irrelevant of what communication protocol, et cetera, it communicates, and then it sits there, it's available for you, but it's also normalizing, contextualizing the data. Because if you're just grabbing data from like the BMS, you know, pick a device or a system, and that's all you're doing, but you're not tying it to the entire data stack inside of the building, you're lacking the context that AI needs for you to actually be able to go and use AI to optimize the space. Because if all you're grabbing, like if all that AI is seeing is that, hey, it's this VAV or this, you know, AHU or whatever the case may be, we see the issue, is it going to make a recommendation that could potentially solve that one issue? 100%. Is it going to solve the root of the issue? 100% not. And the reason why is because when we talk about data contextualization, we're not just talking about contextualizing the data from that specific system. We're talking about tying that data to the space, to the room, how it impacts everything upstream, downstream. This is the tree that we've literally spent our entire R&D money in since day zero to build, so that you can land on a true operating system. I know we're talking a lot about the BMS. Obviously that's the core. Obviously that's the engine that spends the most money and costs the most money to replace and fix and maintain. But there's a lot more to the built environment. So if you're selling to these owners, there's also multiple users, not just the building engineer, right? You have the senior leaders that don't want to go in the weeds of things. You have the energy manager, you have the building engineer, you have the property manager, and then very soon they're going to come and they're going to ask you for your occupancy data for their leasing team. And how do I push it to that? And then it's the next thing, and then it's the next thing, and the asset tracking. Like, we still don't have a good count of all the assets in these buildings. Like, you guys know that, like, you go into any one building, most owners can't tell you 100% of every asset that's in the building. So like, it's almost like we have to like almost go backwards to go forward if we're like going into a building, particularly if we're talking about enabling AI, right? So what do? We also said, look, to make it easier for SIs, for MSIs, for owners, for anybody that wants to do whatever it is they want to do, we want the platform and the users of the platform to be able to do 100% of what Code Labs does on the platform if they choose to. So what does that mean? Like, people will be like, oh, but, you know, don't you want to grab that revenue, et cetera, et cetera? We don't. We want you to grab the revenue or the owner to just go get it and be able to do this. We want the usability of the platform to be as easy as using Facebook. So when you go, like if you haven't seen a demo of our platform, and I should have probably done this here, but I didn't, you'll see what I mean when I talk about the usability of the platform and you know, how easy and seamless it is. When we talk about future state, the idea is that you actually build your own UI UX. We don't want to dictate what you should look at. We'll give you recommendations, but if you want to change, tweak, and or literally vibe code into what you want your journey on the platform to be, you'll be able to do that on the platform. And what does this all mean? You know, over 250 integrations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm sure you guys have heard the data lake and the data hub conversations and so on and so forth. I bring all this up because when you talk to these clients, and when we talk about like a return on investment and how do we pitch this, we had an earlier session about how do you sell SaaS, etc. Well, how do you do it? You check a bunch of their boxes. You have more systems, I can plug them in. You want to visualize them, I can do that. You want to build reports that is a cross data report that is occupancy against energy, against my biggest issues, you can do that. You want to create a report that helps from a budgeting perspective, you'll have the ability to do that because it is all unified and contextualized in one centralized data lake data hub, okay? So you don't have to like sell the entire stack, but when your client comes to you and says, hey, I need access to this data, it doesn't turn into this long-winded conversation that costs a whole bunch of money about access to the thing that they paid for already. The platform has an open API, it's documented, you take it, you send it to them. It's a completely different experience than going in circles for weeks on end to talk to 17 different vendors. We're trying to eliminate that for you guys and obviously for us. So what is all this? So like now we got all like the entire data stack, it is all contextualized. We are building a bunch of products over the top of this, but if you have ideas, and somebody brought this up earlier, if you have ideas on things that say, you're like, look, there's a bunch of tools out there now, I want to be able to do X, Y, Z, but I need to get access to this set of data. You will have the ability to do that. One of the largest financial institutions in the world today that uses this platform, to give you an example, is literally going to their entire vendor stack, from a JLL, CBRE on down, and saying, hey, if you have ideas, if you have thoughts on how you can operate my portfolio better, faster, easier, tell me what data set you need and how much of it you need. And I will hand you the API now off this platform and you go build it. KODE Labs is not gonna build every solution on planet Earth for the built environment. But we want to enable you by handing you this data while also giving you some tools for you to close a deal fast and provide value and a quantifiable return on investment to your clients. And again, I'm not going to go through each thing here, but the idea here is that you can literally turn any one of our things on that you want to sell. If you want to go, deep and wide on 3Ds and graphics, like have at it, you have the ability to do that. If you want to mix that with the data, you can do that. If you want to do, continuous commissioning with fault detection, you can do that. If you want to do optimizations and other preventive, predictive things, you can do that. We have a whole data hub where if you're a data science or data engineer, or you just want to go crazy because you're not using Claude or whatever the case may be, we will open that up for you to literally go completely insane with the entire data stack if that's what you choose to do. So like when you think of KODE Labs, yes, there's a bunch of these solutions. I hope you don't think of us as a dashboard. I'm going to turn some, conversational AI in. It's more about enabling you to go do what you need to do, while also like every release that we do, we will provide you with the entire presentation stack on the value of it, how it ties to the entire thing, so you are not prepared to go and close your deals and provide the service that you guys need to provide, right? So, to try and kind of sum it up again, because I know you guys are probably tired of hearing about a bunch of these things. The idea of KODE OS is that we're the operating system that provides you the entire tool set that you need for you guys to run your business and provide the value you need to provide to your clients. But it also allows you, again, to take that and go further. We're not sitting here telling you we know it all. We're not sitting here telling you that we know how to operate buildings better than you do. We're just saying that we know software super, super well. I think we know software better than anybody else that's been at this conference, to be completely honest, with all due respect to them. We'll give you the tools for you to go crazy. We'll give you the tools to go crazy. And this is readily available today. There's no wait tomorrow and maybe 6 months, maybe 12 years. It's here, it's yours, you can have it, call us, let's go to work, okay? What does this mean from an agent perspective? Just to give you a sense of how we think of this, okay? Conversational AI, this was the easiest thing on planet Earth because none of us had to do this. It was done for us. Take an API, plug it into some data, it's a mishmash or whatever based on your data set, but you can do this. How do we build automation? How do we allow you to get rid of these mundane tasks and let you be the professionals and the critical thinkers that you are to provide value and really transform your business, right? And get to a place where you can release things that work best, that you literally are helping train because the tool set is there, okay? So I'll sum all this up. by saying, I said this yesterday a bit, like what we're doing and driving towards is this idea of like what Cursor did for software developers, we're going to do for this space. And we're not going to do it 3 years from now, like now. So thank you guys, appreciate the time.